Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's use some Dollar Tree rub-on decals to make a cup. We're going to start with the epoxy method for my glitter adhesion. And for my glitter today, I'm going to use some that I got at the clearance buckets at Michael's, and it's the Spin It glitter. I got several of them, so I'm going to try them on a few different cups. For this cup, I'm going to mix silver and night sky, just to kind of help that black shine up underneath the epoxy. I'm going to mix it till I think it looks good, stir it around, dump it out, and see what we think. I think this is going to do it for us. Now we're going to put it all back in the cup, and we're going to put it all over our tumbler, front to back, side to side, full coverage, and let it spin until it dries. Once we get it all covered, we want to tap off the excess and get a layer of epoxy on it. With this layer, I did do a little bit of light sanding, and these are the rub-on transfers that I'm going to use. We're going to see how it works. I'm going to go in and cut off all of those edges and place it to where I think it'll look good, and we'll kind of just see what we end up with. You want to peel off a little bit of that backing just like you would a regular decal, and the paper is not really rigid, but it's, you know, metallic-y feeling. And so you just want to put it on and rub it really hard to get that transfer to adhere as best you can. You've got to be careful because once you put it on there, you cannot lift it up without removing that decal from the paper. Now I just used the back of my squeegee to kind of just adhere that as best I can, and I just really tried to burnish all of it down really well. Some of it is still not going to stick. I think that's just the nature of rub-on transfers, but you want to be kind of gentle when you pull it up because it's kind of tacky almost, like you get little strings of that adhesive that sticks, but I think it looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to use the backing from the first decal and kind of just tape off, so in my mind I'm cutting down on overlap. We'll kind of see how that turns out, but you want to just cut the edges off the other one, the other decal, because one is not going to fit around the cup, and line it up as best you can. It will not be perfect, and you just want to go in and burnish that down just like you did the first one with very firm pressure all over, and just kind of be mindful of that overlap on the other side because you are going to have some. And when you think you've got it down firm enough and you're happy with what you think you've got, go ahead and carefully peel it out and check out your handiwork. Now I did go in and seal this with a coat of polyacrylic, 2 coats I believe, of polyacrylic. I don't know if it's needed or not, but I'm going to go do some extra glitter work before I start with another layer of epoxy. So I got this masking tape and I kind of took some of the sticky of it off on my shirt, and I'm going to use a piece of it as a marker to bring down the exact same from the front or the top rim and the bottom rim to help it look as balanced as possible. And what I'm going to do is go in with that polyacrylic again and use that as my adhesive, and I'm going to start with the silver, and then I'm going to go in and ombre that black that we used as our base to kind of just tie it all together and help with those rough edges. So like I said, I'm going to use the polyacrylic for the adhesive for the glitter this time, and I'm going to do that top edge and the bottom edge, and I'm going to go full coverage with the silver, and you'll see that you can still be able to see some of that rub-on transfer through the silver, and that's what prompted me to go back in with the black. But like I said, for this first one, we're going to do full coverage with the silver. We're going to let that polyacrylic dry, and then we're going to go on to the next step. So you can see that you can still see that rub-on transfer through the silver. So this is what prompted me to go in and do the black, and I'm going to again use the polyacrylic as my adhesive, and I'm going to go full coverage right at that tape line, and then I'm going to tilt my cup almost completely vertical and hold my glitter pretty far away and try to get that ombre or fade to look pretty decent. I still want to be able to see some of the silver, so I don't want to go all the way to the bottom, but I just kind of want it to be just a little something different. And on the top part, I'm going to go full coverage again at the tape line, turn it almost completely vertical, hold my glitter far away, and just let it sprinkle and fall how it wants to. Tap it off, and then we are going to put a layer of epoxy on this after we take our tape off. Now, I normally don't show my epoxy process. We all have our favorite epoxy we want to use. I'm right now using Flynn Sisters Supply Shop, and this is her regular epoxy. I mix it in a hot water bath, and I do stir it slowly. You will notice that as you stir, those bubbles do come up to the top if you keep that epoxy warm, and it is a lot less bubbles than some of the other epoxies that I have used. I'm going to start by epoxying in the middle, and I'm going to just epoxy that entire middle section, and then I'm going to go to my top and my bottom. So full disclosure, no idea why this is doing slow-mo, so I cut a ton of this out. But after this, I just let it spin, and I'm going to go in and do my vinyl striping. I'm just using this textured black Cricut, and I'm going to go around the top and the bottom where that rub-on transfer starts, just to kind of help crisp up all that stuff. And as the same as every time I do any vinyl striping, I am going to leave that overlap on there just as a little kind of insurance policy in case it comes up and I have to sand or whatever. So for the actual decal, I did an offset in this chromy silver kind of color. And then I did the actual decal in the black on top. And these were just scrap pieces of vinyl I had. And I'm going to try to layer the black on top of the silver and then place it on the cup. For the placement, I want to put it over that seam where I have the overlap just to kind of camouflage it a little bit. And once I get this placed, I epoxy until smooth. And here we go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.